Hey team, what's happening? If you haven't already tried to make yourself a balance board, I suggest you go do that. Whether or not you have a balance board at home already or whether you just made one, why not use it? Despite its name, a balance board may not help you increase your balance in other areas or disciplines, but it is a fun tool to get some activity, learn a new talent, and push your creative skills to new places. A lot of people think this toy requires core strength, and I would say, yeah, it does. But what it requires more is finesse and core mobility. I'll explain why. Here are 4 tips to get you started on your Rolla Bolla balance board. Tip 1 is how to start. I want you guys to start with the roller about 3/4 of the way to the end of the board. The sections of the board are generally located here. This position is a trade-off. If you start with the roller right in the middle, most first timers will step on slowly, and when you step on slowly, the board remains tilted in that position. When you see me on the board and I tilt the board to the left, the roller goes left. The more the board is tilted, the faster the roller will move. Starting the board at the 3/4 mark just makes that tilt more mellow. It is possible to start with the board right in the middle, but I would suggest being comfortable first. You also don't want to start the roller all the way to the end. When you're up, the balance board acts like a seesaw. If you don't leave some board on the end to push it down with, the board will require some real commitment to mount. One error I see is that people start with the roller 3/4 to the end of the board, but then scoot, so it's halfway. This is either intentional or unintentional. Just make sure to reset if you find yourself in this position. Tip number 2 is working with the rhythm or the sway of the board. Being completely steady may be more difficult than you think. Remember this, you're keeping your center of mass over your base of support to remain balanced. You might think your feet are your base of support, but in reality, it's the roller. The area that the roller makes with the ground is your base of support, which is essentially a very thin line. If you try to stay still and keep your center of mass directly above the roller, you would have very little wiggle room. It's possible, but it's a very hard maneuver. Instead, move with the board instead of working against it. Remember, the roller moves wherever the board is tilted, but the roller isn't the only thing that's moving. Your roller is your base of support, so when the roller moves, your base of support moves. Learning to sway with the board helps you move the base of support to the side you need it most. Here I am walking forwards and backwards. When I'm falling forwards, I put my foot out in front, but when I'm falling backwards, I put my foot behind. You'll notice that my center of mass is rarely over my base of support. But well, it technically is. To remain balanced, the center of mass has to be over the base of support relative to the forces at play. Normally when we're just standing, the only thing pulling us down is gravity, so we're fine here. But on the balance board, you'll be tipping left and right. In order to remain balanced, your base of support needs to be moved to a spot in line with where you're falling. This is why I said balance boards require more core mobility and finesse than core strength. You have to be able to work with the board to get the roller where you want, rather than fight against it to go where you don't. Don't think too much about this. This will happen naturally if you sway with the board. Tip number 3 is keep the roller inside your feet. As soon as the roller goes to the outside of your feet, there's no way you can get your center of mass back over the roller. Rolla Bolla is like a seesaw. If all your weight goes on one side, that side drops. There's nothing you can do. There is a move called a counterbalance that breaks this rule, but that's for a different video. Tip number 4 is go down with the ship. In other words, keep your feet on the board. When first starting out, if you need to bail, just ride it out. Otherwise, all your weight is going to be on one side of the seesaw and you can get a board to the shin or groin. Just go down with the ship. And there you go, 4 tips on how to use the balance board you have at your home or the one you just made. I hope these tips will prevent you from smashing your face on the floor or getting a plank to the groin. There are a myriad of tricks you can pull off with this toy, so let me know what you want to learn. Comment below, especially if you want to learn with your best friend. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And that's it. Good luck. Thank you for watching. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.